All right, Coach. A really nice week for you guys last week, but I know afterwards you kind of challenged the guys. Let's keep this going as long as we can, and really great opportunity to do that starting this week with Wright State and the Joe Nuxall Classic. Just kind of talk to me about today's matchup, and then we'll kind of get more into maybe the meaning of the tournament as a whole.
I'm excited to play Wright State. We haven't played them yet this season. They've had a really good season so far. I'd say they're a really good team. They're competitive. They do a lot of things well. I think very similar to how we opened up at Campbell last year. I think they're similar teams. They do a couple things that you don't see on a regular basis in your season. They steal bases really well, above average on that, and then they're a really scrappy team in the batter's box, and they use their bullpen a little bit differently than a lot of teams do, and the guys they bring in are very competitive too. So we've got our work cut out for us for sure to get a win tonight, but excited for the opportunity to play a good team and to go out there and compete like crazy with them.
I know, like I said, a pretty interesting tournament to be a part in. Obviously, for you, a little more special being a Cincinnati guy your whole life. I know you talked about it a little bit yesterday at the coaches' roundtable, just your memories as a kid listening to Joe on the radio and everything. Just kind of talk to me what this tournament means to you and how cool it is to play in this thing every year.
Well, I think especially too now living in Hamilton, in the city of Hamilton, where Joe Nuxall was from. You're just reminded of it daily about how neat and special a guy he was and how his legacy lives on to the Miracle League and what his son Kim is doing. But for me, very simply, he was a guy that I idolized as a kid. I remember walking into the barber shop one time when I was a kid, and Joe Nuxall was in there getting his hair cut, and that was like the coolest thing in the world to me, was getting to see Joe Nuxall. So, it's neat. It's anything you can do to remember a legend like that is awesome. And when it's obviously Cincinnati ties, I've got a lot of hometown pride in the city of Cincinnati, and anything we can do to keep the name Joe Nuxall special, important, and mean something is definitely a good thing.
I know every time you go out, the goal is to win every time. Just kind of talk about, though, this kind of atmosphere. Is it a little bit more on the line maybe for you? Do you feel it, or maybe the guys feel it? You try to put a little more in them when this tournament comes around?
Well, I think our guys are excited about it. I think anytime you're playing teams that, there's such strong ties between, like we said it a little bit yesterday, there's a lot of common opponents. These guys have played against each other, a lot of them in high school and summer ball. These guys are in the same leagues a lot of times, or even in a lot of cases on the same teams in summer ball. So I think there's an extra element of competitiveness to it that just kind of happens naturally for us as a coaching staff. It's hoping that we can take care of what we need to take care of in a baseball game. It doesn't, like I've said it a million times, I don't think it makes a huge difference if we're playing Xavier, UC, Wright State, OU, or name the school. If we play good baseball, I think we got a pretty good shot at winning that game, and I think that'll be definitely true Tuesday and Wednesday.
Looking ahead to Ohio this week, I know you closed out last year with them 1-2 out of 3. I just kind of talk to me what you know about them. They've kind of had a hot and cold kind of season so far. Not really sure what to make of maybe the MAC so far. Everyone's just kind of beating up on each other a little bit, but just maybe what you know about them.
Well, I don't know much about them. They're a much different team than they were a year ago. They're much better than they were a year ago. There's no doubt about that. So I really don't know a ton about them besides what a stat sheet will tell you. But it's very simple to me. I really firmly believe that if our hitters can continue producing better at-bats more consistently, they're going to give us a chance to win. And I think we have found – I wish the group was bigger, but I think we've found a group of pitchers that we can rely on a weekend. And if we get what we expect from our starters and those relievers, I feel very confident about winning weekends right now. But we definitely still need some guys to step up too. There's some guys that we aren't able to count on just yet that we're going to need to be where we want to be.
It was part of the conversation last week. Hey guys, this is really great, but let's keep putting this together. Maybe consistency is more the key, and let's not just do this for 1 week. Let's kind of keep this riding.
Well, yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit on whether it was Wednesday or Friday after the game. Are we feeling better? We've won some games in a row now. It's a little bit of a streak. But I think the more that happens, it's not necessarily that we've got to go on a 20-game win streak to be any good, but we've got to play good baseball for 20 straight games. You know what I mean? And that's the part of it where I think I can handle losing a close game, when we've played really good baseball and a team beats us. I'm not going to say it's not going to drive me crazy. It's not going to keep me up at night, but that's not why we've been losing some games, earlier in the season. It's because we don't do things that we can control, that we know what the expectation of us is, and we're not doing it. We're not executing it. So if we play good baseball for 20 games in a row, I think our record over that 20 games will be pretty good. Whether we go on an extended winning streak or not, it's tough to do that in this sport. It's really difficult to do that in baseball. But we're certainly going to try and keep winning as long as we can, and next time we lose a game, hopefully it's a one-game losing streak, and then we start another winning streak.